know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. The nigga you be hanging with. Always sex offender. And he was your mans. He was your boy.
I heard you grew up with him.
That's crazy, man.
You ain't know what he was doing? You ain't feel bad at all? Like no guilt, none of that?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Crow, part-time YouTuber, part-time award-winning something. Anyways, listen, I said I was going to do an update video as soon as we had a response from Kris Tyson or MrBeast, but more stuff is coming out. There's more stuff that Kris Tyson has done that is coming to light, and I got to talk to you about it in this video, along with probably the biggest thing, which is that a former member of MrBeast crew is saying that Jimmy knew all about this stuff happening. Now, it's whether or not you want to believe it, I don't know, but this only makes things worse for MrBeast's entire brand. And I think he does a lot of good work, and I hate to see this stuff happening because I think it's going to impact a lot of that good charity work that he does. But at the exact same time, I have a massive issue if he really did know about this the entire time and chose to cover it up while bringing Kris along to all of these events. Taking Kris Tyson to the Kids' Choice Awards, I mean, I would imagine that, you know, that was just when the transition happened. It was good PR, yada, 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 whatever. But if you know he's got these addictions, you put every single kid there at risk, as well as every other kid that's going there to see you and sees who you're associating with. This is really messed up. Okay. And I think that I think that it's only going to get worse the longer these people choose to cover their mouths and pretend nothing's going on. This is not going to blow over because MrBeast has the largest channel on YouTube. And I've got to just be clear. There are people who will not, who obviously do not care about these kids. They don't care about the stuff Kris Tyson has done. But there are people who have made it their sole mission in life just to destroy MrBeast's YouTube channel. Right? When he built the wells up in Africa, when they were complaining about how that was actually a bad thing, the like white colonialism or whatever, like they hate this guy. They hate all the good work that he does, and they spend like their lives trying to see him be destroyed. Well, now you've given them like actual ammunition. So it's not something that can just be ignored. It's not something where people just pretend it didn't happen, wait a couple of weeks, and then it's all going to blow over. The longer you remain silent, the worse it gets because people are going to start jumping to conclusions. Now, I would say that you shouldn't respond immediately the moment an accusation has been made. I agree with that, right? I've even said in the past, you should take your time to get your stuff together, especially if you want to refute what the claims that are being made. Acknowledge what's going on, at least, I guess, because this is not something that just happened a couple of days ago. I get it's blowing up today, right? Kris Tyson is still trending on, trending with Shadman, Jesus. But like it's something that's been out there for a few days now. I think 5 days now since the Adrox video. The other YouTuber Prism, I get he's super small scale, so probably not anyone had even heard about it. But we watched the Brion video on stream yesterday, so there's plenty going on, right? There's plenty. Here, all the evidence is out there. If you're going to say that it didn't happen, you can say that it didn't happen and then formulate like a more articulated response, I guess. But it's a big problem now that we have a former crew member for MrBeast stating, yeah, Jimmy knew all about this stuff. Like that is like Kris Tyson, like I see the trans community whining and crying about how it's going to impact them the most, which is just the most inhuman thing you can do when this stuff is happening. But it's going to drag everyone in his circle down with him. It absolutely will, because I said this before. You want to claim that you had no idea what your friend was doing when he was literally hanging Shadman's art in their shared living space. That you can't pretend you did not know this stuff was happening. You at least knew that he was a devout lolicon, but your other crew members like, yeah, Jimmy knew all about this. So I am curious, is he saying that Jimmy knew about the minor that Kris befriended when he was 13? Did he know about the Discord that those two were running in together? Did he know about the messages offering to sell nudes to the kid? Did he know about any of that stuff? I would say I think he had some understanding. Right? I think more and more, the longer this waits, I think he definitely had some understanding of what was going on. Now, there's more stuff that's coming out because Kris Tyson has just apparently been a degenerate his entire life. Right? So this is why I said I can't see how Jimmy claims that he had no understanding, right? Some people hide this stuff very well, right? Some people do hide this stuff very well. There's no understanding that this is what they've been doing, and when it comes out, it's really shocking. But now we have Kris Tyson's old YouTube channel where he was sharing revenge porn of an actress from Nickelodeon, the iCarly show. Okay, I'm going to play this. It's only about a minute and a half long, but he's basically him telling everybody about what happened and then sharing links in his own YouTube channel.
How's it going, you guys? So recently everybody's been hearing about the Jeanette McCurdy leak of her photo. What the story is, she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out, and she is a very popular Nickelodeon star on the show iCarly, and probably be seen as the pulling of the show. It'll probably be taken off the air. Second off, you'll probably see the photos get taken down at some point tonight, maybe tomorrow, because Nickelodeon has that kind of power. But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that you know, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it. First off, what I have to say though is that when you look on the news, you see people, they've leaked nudes from their girlfriend at a high school, and that girl kills herself. It's a tragic story. Everybody calls the guy a bully, but yeah, when people like Perez Hilton do it, it's considered entertainment. So you kind of have to think about where the right and wrong is, really. And I think it's all wrong, personally. I don't think somebody should leak photos that were sent in trust. But I guess if that's how President Hilton wants to make his living, it's up to him. You decide. You decide if it's moral or if it's immoral. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Now, I want to be clear about what he just said there. Leaking these photos is always wrong. It drives certain people to off themselves. Paris Hilton does it for entertainment. So I don't endorse doing it, but here's a link so you can go view all of her photos. This guy, I'm starting to wonder if he actually has any concept of morality. Right? I'm really wondering if he has any concept of morality, or it's right or wrong to him depending on what he can get away with. Because this is old, right? This predates any of the other stuff coming out about Kris Tyson. This is extremely old. On an old YouTube channel, poor video quality. This is like ancient in terms of like YouTube standards and everything. I'm kind of kidding, but you get what I mean. So again, the idea that Jimmy, who has been a friend with this person for a long time, right? A friend who is hanging up Shadman's lolicon in their shared living space. I'm just saying, to me, there's no way in hell Jimmy did not know that his friend had serious issues. There's no way. And the fact that you kept dragging this idiot around with you, the fact that you kept exposing him to your mostly child audience, I don't know what you want me to say about that, other than it seems like you're really complicit in everything Kris Tyson was doing. Kris Tyson would do it, you'd keep your fucking mouth shut. Kris Tyson would do it, you defend him. Like I want to see Jimmy take actual accountability, because I appreciate the charity work that he does. I really do. But this idiot that he's friends with, this jackass that he's dragged around for years, is preying on kids. Okay? That story with that 13-year-old, those messages, those conversations, he groomed the out of that kid to think that it's totally appropriate. Now that kid is an adult and still doesn't realize that having sexual conversations at 13 with a grown adult isn't a bad thing.
So Mr. Beast's tranny friend, he's been caught talking to kids, trying to f*** children. Surprise, surprise. Didn't see that one coming. Fucking hell. You know what's most amazing to me about this whole scenario? That nobody seems to point out this guy's name. Mr. Beast.
I figured I would let Andrew Tate talk for a little bit, but now it's going to turn into, oh, he's actually the devil. Look, man, Andrew Tate's a fucking idiot. He's got his own accusations, but the fact that you're giving a layup to Andrew Tate is nuts to me. Right? It's absolutely insane to me, but more people are going to start putting the pressure on Jimmy and Mr. Beast crew to answer questions on why they kept their mouth shut. And again, the fact that their former crew member is adding fuel to that fire, maybe that guy is lying, right? Maybe Jake is making that whole story up. To me, it just doesn't match. Okay, all those tweets were public, right? This was not on a private Twitter account under a different name. All right, all that stuff was who Kris has always been. It's always been out in the open. It was so open that Mr. Beast accidentally showed Shadman's art in one of his videos because it's just become like a normal thing for them. Now, there's one other aspect of the Kris Tyson story that I absolutely like. It does piss me off. Okay, and this is not a defense of Dr. Disrespect. Okay. Dr. Disrespect, absolutely what he did is wrong. Okay, he's 30-something plus years old, and he's having these same type of, well, I don't know exactly because we never actually saw the messages with Dr. Disrespect, but he says inappropriate messages with a 17-year-old. Okay, I'm going to take that as charitable as I can and as extreme as I can. In either way, Dr. Disrespect deserves to be canceled and nobody should be watching the guy, right? Just period, flat out. But I do think it's interesting. I do think it's interesting that as this has happened, Kris Tyson is not being put under the same level of fire Dr. Disrespect is, even though what Kris Tyson has done objectively is worse. Okay, objectively, those conversations that he was having, you want to argue, hey, I was just joking about selling nudes to a minor. You fucking die on that hill. Die like you do that. Go defend that. Go ahead and defend it. I'm fine with it. But it needs to be pointed out. It absolutely needs to be pointed out that when the Dr. Disrespect accusations came out, there were articles being written about the accusations. There were articles being written from Rolling Stone, of all places. Now, if you want to argue Dr. Disrespect is a bigger content creator than someone on the MrBeast crew, true. However, MrBeast YouTube channel, which Kris Tyson is a part of, is the largest channel on YouTube. The fact that there are no articles on a story that is I was going to say weeks old, days old, almost a week old, I think you can point out to that contrast, right? You can point out that when it was someone like Dr. Disrespect, oh, they were quick. They were very quick to start writing articles about the guy. But when it's Kris Tyson, the trans person, you have people like sitting on their thumbs. And this is in spite of the backlash I'm seeing on Twitter today, where it's people in the trans community are openly acknowledging that Kris Tyson to them is a pedophile, right? But they're crying about how this is going to impact their community. It's going to impact your community if you keep making it about your community. Like, just to be as clear as I can, disown this degenerate. Right? All this stuff happened pre-transition. To me, it's just like maybe he transitioned just to give him another shield because he's associated with other people that have gone down that route. Okay, that weird freaking other trans person that was part of the Giggly Glue. You look it up. Turkey Tom did an entire hour-long video on Giggly Goo Clown, who is one of the most disturbing individuals you will ever find. But they openly admit they only transition so that make it easier to prey on kids. I don't think that makes them a trans person. I don't think you should claim either of these people. I think you should disown them. But right now, what I am seeing is it looks like that there is going to be an effort to try to cover this up, to try to let it just blow over, wait a couple of weeks, hope that people focus on something else, and MrBeast will just do another damn charity video. Absolutely not. This is disturbing. This is disgusting. And again, I know that it might not be the biggest thing in relation to everything else going on, the sharing of revenge porn pics. I understand why it seems like not the biggest thing compared to everything else, but this is who Kris is. He's got zero morality, okay? He does degenerate things, and he's been doing it for a very, very, very long time. That, in combination with a former crew member saying that Jimmy knew, I think Jimmy knew. I think other people on the MrBeast crew knew, and I think all of them need to have their feet held to the damn fire until they respond to why this shit was covered up by them.